Hello Ricky, has your good friend Marvin Carter gotten his money from TK Stanley yet?
Hi Jane, my good friend Marvin hasn't called me from the Caribbean yet, so more than likely, the TK Stanley company hasn't settled with Marvin for the more than $1,600 that those good old boys in North Dakota beat Marvin out of when he first went up there.
Maybe he should call Johnny Cochran.
When it comes to the TK Stanley company, even Perry Mason would catch hell prosecuting a case against TK Stanley. So that's why Marvin thinks he may have just as good of a chance trying this case in the court of public opinion. But at the same time, I really believe TK Stanley would rather close their doors and go out of business altogether rather than pay Marvin the more than $1,600 they owe him, and not to mention other former and current TK Stanley employees working in North Dakota that were beat out of their money too.
The last time we talked, you said Marvin didn't like one TK Stanley truck pusher in particular, named Flea.
Absolutely, Flea's an asshole.
Really?
My good friend Marvin even approached TK Stanley's upper management about that asshole's behavior, and even submitted it in writing. But as far as he could tell, that was as far as it went. Marvin said that just about all of the hierarchy at that TK Stanley company in North Dakota take kindness for weakness, and uses the fact that their employees need their job to ride roughshod over them.
You don't say.
This is where that asshole Flea comes into play. Marvin said that when he first went to North Dakota with that TK Stanley company, during his first 3-week hitch, he came real close to getting into 5 fist fights.
My lord.
Marvin said that too many of the bosses, and especially the wannabe bosses, loved to yell, scream and holler at those with less seniority or less experience in drilling rig moving than themselves, talking to people like a dog. Marvin said that the only way to stop that behavior from continuing was to yell back, nearly causing a fist fight each time. But after that he usually didn't have much trouble out of that individual.
That is so sad.
Yes, and by standing up for himself, Marvin said he was obviously marked a troublemaker.
Has Marvin had any kind of problems like that at his new job?
No, he hasn't. Marvin said that his fellow employees at his new job are so well behaved that it's almost like going to work at church.
Well, was Flea, the truck pusher, one of the TK Stanley people that Marvin nearly had a fight with?
Marvin said that one of his biggest fears while working at TK Stanley was he might end up in the North Dakota State Penitentiary. And Flea was one of the people that caused him to have those kind of thoughts.
Wow, was it really that bad?
I'm afraid it was. Marvin said one day before daylight, when it had come a good snow, his crew from Watford City was supposed to meet the other TK Stanley crew from the Stanley, North Dakota yard at a rig location north of Tioga, North Dakota. Marvin said he was the very first truck driver to leave because all of the rest of the truck drivers were too scared because they thought it was too slick. And Marvin said it was really too slick. He managed to stay on the road and made it about 50 miles when he noticed his trailer lights were no longer working.
Snow on the highway, still dark outside, and no trailer lights? My lord.
Just listen. Marvin stopped to check his pigtail connections, but no luck. He finally made it to the rig location north of Tioga with no trailer lights. Marvin was the first driver there from his crew. So following company protocol, Marvin approached the TK Stanley truck pusher at that rig location to inform him of his truck's condition and that may need a mechanic to fix his trailer light problem before he headed back loaded, and that the westbound way station was now open and DOTing trucks. The truck pusher he told this to was Flea.
Oh boy.
Flea immediately told Marvin, and as nastily as he could say it, "I don't give a damn about your lights. All I want to know is how many axles your truck has." Maintaining control, Marvin informed Flea that the westbound way station was open and he wasn't gonna cross it with no trailer lights. Flea, whom had been sitting his lazy ass in his pickup, then got out of the pickup as if he was going to hit Marvin, and as red-faced as he could be, shouting and spitting as he spoke, shouting, "I told you I don't give a damn about your lights. Now go back to your damn truck." Since Marvin ain't no punk either, Marvin stood toe-to-toe with that damn asshole and he had to back down.
Was Marvin reprimanded?
Not formally, but Marvin did end up having to go back to camp early, losing money for that day because Flea obviously gets his way with the TK Stanley company in North Dakota. Plus since then TK Stanley North Dakota has promoted Flea rather than fire the damn asshole.
Well, every dog does have their day.
Amen, sister. Let's just hope so.
Is that the only horror story at TK Stanley that Marvin told you about?
Absolutely not. I'll have to share that with you next time.
I'm looking forward to it.